Well, I guess that's what they call a great William and Mary welcome. That was great. Well, good morning, and welcome to an important and historic announcement for William and Mary. In the past 15 minutes, you have heard the Wren bell tolling 28 times to signify a very special moment in the university's history. No white smoke, but nonetheless a great moment for William and Mary. Last April, President Taylor Reevely announced his intention to retire on June 30th of this year. When he turns out the lights at the Brafferton on June 30th, Taylor will have served for more than 10 years as William and Mary's president, following 10 years of service as the dean of the Marshall Wythe School of Law. While there will be many celebratory events for Taylor and Helen in the coming months, I want to recognize and thank both of them for their outstanding service to this great university. Taylor and Helen, please stand to be recognized. Now, I've been waiting to do this for 5 years. Friends, colleagues, please sit, all right? The formal process to select the 28th president commenced last April after Taylor made his announcement, but the informal succession process started much earlier. A little over 2 years ago, I asked the vice rector of the board, Tom Watkins, to begin informally looking at contemporary search best practices for university presidents and speak with other university boards and presidents about their recent search experiences. The objective was simple. We wanted to learn as much as possible before beginning an active search for William and Mary's 28th president. With Taylor's announcement, we formed an incredibly diverse 19-person presidential search committee to represent the William and Mary community. The search committee included faculty, staff, alumni, students, and members of the boards and visitors. I asked Tom Watkins to chair the search committee. I also asked William & Mary's Chancellor Bob Gates to serve as a special advisor to both the search committee and the Board of Visitors. I teased Chancellor Gates that he would be our closer in the search process, like New York Yankees pitching great Mariano Rivera. He said, "Who's Mariano Rivera?" No, but he was a good closer. The Presidential Search Committee had a very difficult mission: to find a leader to whom Taylor Reevely could pass the reins, someone who would respect William & Mary's 325 years of history and also our contemporary excellence. I asked the Presidential Search Committee to bring to the Board of Visitors no more than 3 finalists by February 15th of this year. The Search Committee was also charged to consider the widest and most diverse pool of candidates and to actively listen to the William and Mary community. Over the following months, the Search Committee did just that, including more than 150 listening sessions on campus and across the globe, and hearing from nearly 1,600 members of the William and Mary community. Our search consultant told us that it was the most outreach they had ever seen a university do in a presidential search. We also received hundreds of comments through email on the presidential website. In addition, we launched a social media campaign to make sure students had opportunities to participate in the search process. A video with the Griffin as an applicant was particularly fun. Didn't make it. But behind the fun was a serious effort to keep the community informed and involved throughout this process. The search committee took the feedback we received very seriously as we initially worked to develop our leadership profile for the position and then later develop and build our candidate pool. We had roughly 300 nominations for the president's position, which led to a diverse pool of approximately 100 candidates from all areas of academia and business. We then narrowed the number of candidates to a diverse pool of 12 very strong semifinalists and ultimately 3 outstanding finalists who were referred to the full Board of Visitors for consideration and final interviews. I want to thank Tom Watkins and the members of the search committee for their outstanding work, and they really did outstanding work. Tom has just done a tremendous job really over the last couple of years and certainly over the last year, and I want to recognize and thank Tom and the search committee. So please join me in thanking him. Tom also had a great partner in crime, and I also want to recognize and thank Cheryl Corvello, who staffed the search committee, for her outstanding work. Please join me in thanking Cheryl. Cheryl? There she is. I just saw Cheryl exhale. She said, "We're finally there," right? Finally, and very importantly, I want to recognize and thank the board secretary, Michael Fox, for all of his outstanding work in supporting the search committee and the Board of Visitors throughout this entire process. Please join me in thanking Michael. Where are you, Michael? There he is. Okay, well now for our very important announcement. Today I'm very excited to announce that the Board of Visitors voted unanimously to ask Dr. Katherine Rowe to become the 28th president of William & Mary. More important than the board's unanimous vote is the board's enthusiastic support for Katherine. You can give her a hand. So out of all of those nominations and candidates, how did the Board of Visitors come to unanimously select Dr. Katherine Rowe? The search committee and the Board of Visitors saw in Katherine Rowe throughout the search process a visionary leader deeply rooted in the liberal arts, and very importantly, their critical intersections with technology and research. Katherine is passionate about the value and relevance of the liberal arts. It is at the root of her scholarship and at the heart of every school she has attended or at which she has worked. Here, the liberal arts have been called the beating heart of William & Mary. A liberal arts education is not ancillary. Instead, Katherine will tell you that it is precisely what students will need to navigate the future. She believes very strongly that the liberal arts are what will give our students an edge as critical thinkers in a multidisciplinary, data-informed, and rapidly changing economy and world. The multidisciplinary, data-informed world is one in which Katherine is very comfortable. She is constantly scanning the horizon to find new ways to innovate the liberal arts. Katherine is a nationally recognized leader in digital innovation and a pioneer in finding new ways to use technology to teach and learn more effectively. She's also deeply interested in design thinking, entrepreneurship, and the digital humanities. As co-founder and CEO of Luminary Digital Media, Katherine has reimagined the classics with interactive reading apps that enhance student engagement and understanding of Shakespearean text. How cool? That's cool. Yeah. Katherine's deep understanding of pedagogy, the critical value of the liberal arts, and the digital horizon made her a rare combination. Like William & Mary, Katherine values the aggregate of human learning and is always looking toward an exciting future. Katherine is also a stellar leader. As provost and dean of the faculty at Smith College, the college enjoyed a period of tremendous forward momentum during her tenure. Katherine led Smith to undertake a deep investigation of its own curriculum, and while respecting its own beating heart, adopted one of the first statistical and data science majors in the country, which proved immensely popular with students. Katherine also rightly believes that diversity accelerates innovation, one of the phrases that she said many times that we grew to like just immensely. She gets it that diverse environments are strong and dynamic places to learn and work, and that the best and highest performing teams are also the most diverse teams. Katherine has a long track record of promoting diversity and inclusion for underrepresented students, staff, and faculty. As provost at Smith, she greatly increased faculty diversity. Katherine also served as interim vice president for inclusion and diversity and equity, which is just one of the many leadership roles she has held over the years, though it is one of which she is particularly proud. As a professor, administrator, and provost, Katherine is an engaged communicator who listens deeply and excels at connecting with students, colleagues, and alumni. We could see this from the first time we met her. Katherine impressed everyone who interacted with her throughout the search process. The search committee, the Board of Visitors, President Reevely, Chancellor Gates, and others, as someone who's authentic, genuine, and really engaging. We also believe Katherine shares the values at William & Mary that we hold most dear: a strong commitment to excellence in undergraduate teaching and research, multi- and interdisciplinary learning, educating and developing strong citizen leaders, good stewardship, and humble servant leadership. Katherine also loves sports and has been a competitive athlete throughout her entire life. She remarked throughout the search process how sports, varsity, club, and intramurals are an important part of the university. Katherine also observed how well William & Mary does with its varsity sports in producing outstanding scholar athletes who compete and win in the field of competition and in the classroom. On a personal level, Katherine is well known as a player and now championship coach of United States Ultimate Frisbee. Ultimate is a self-refereed team sport governed by the spirit of the game, the joy of play, and a mutual respect for fellow players. This is how Katherine leads. Katherine is also someone who really appreciates and respects William & Mary's history and traditions. At the same time, she also understands why change, transformation, and vision for the future are essential to the university's continued excellence. When we started the presidential search process, Chancellor Gates remarked that William & Mary's deep history and importance to our nation demand that the university be a national leader in the discussion about higher education, the preparation of our future workforce, and the importance of developing outstanding citizen leaders. With Katherine Rowe as our president, I am confident we have found a leader who will help us achieve this shared vision of historical preeminence and contemporary excellence. On the wall in the boardroom for the Board of Visitors is a single plaque. The inscription is from two former Board of Visitors members to the then incoming rector of the college, Ann Dobie Peebles. The inscription states simply, "Take care of our college." President Reevely, you have done this magnificently. Katherine, we believe you are absolutely the right person in the university's history to not only take care of our college, but also lead us to even greater excellence. Before I formally introduce Katherine, I would like to recognize her husband, Bruce, her two children, her parents, and other family members and friends who are with us today. If you would please stand, it's great to have you with us today. Please stand. Now for the big moment. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Katherine Rowe as the next president of the College of William & Mary.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning. I am deeply honored by the responsibility that the Board of Visitors has conferred on me today in calling me to serve as William & Mary's 28th president. Thank you so much. The right way to begin any momentous endeavor such as this is to begin with thanks, and I am fortunate to have so many to extend today. To the rector of the board, Todd Stottlemyre, and the board who've called me here today, I am grateful for the vision of William & Mary that you have sketched for me over the months. I am grateful for the responsibility that you're charging me. I take that to heart. I will care for this institution, and I am thrilled to accept the call to serve. Thanks to the rector, vice rector, Tom Watkins, and the whole search committee, those 150 open meetings were generously shared, what you learned in them over the course of the search. I take your work, I take what you heard to heart, and I will keep it to heart over the years to come. I've also taken to heart this community's vision of William and Mary's future. That's one of the things that I want to talk about today. But I want to start that vision with the person who set that up for me now, President Taylor Reevely, Helen Reevely, and thank them for their incredibly warm welcome to this community, to their home. You have led this institution for 10 years to great prosperity, and we will all benefit for that for decades to come. Thank you. Chancellor Bob Gates, your early counsel, a wonderful counsel on leadership, was an invaluable resource. It wasn't the closing I needed. This community was the closing I needed. But I know I will count on that wisdom in the years to come. So many staff at William and Mary work tirelessly for this celebration and through the search process. You are the unsung heroes that make this institution go, and without you, it wouldn't be thriving. And to my family, my chief support and inspiration, thank you for coming here today. Thank you for bringing me here today. We are thrilled to be joining such a vibrant community of teaching, learning, innovation, and research. As I introduce myself to this community, I want to begin by sharing what has drawn me so strongly to William and Mary. And then I'm going to offer some reflections on our past and future at this moment of joyful transition. As I've gotten to know William and Mary, I've spent a great deal of time exploring what it means to be the quintessential public ivy. That ampersand in our name, it symbolizes the power to combine qualities that are rarely combined together in higher education today. A liberal arts curriculum integrated with exceptional professional education, an undergraduate college at a world-class university, an authentic culture of scholar athletes who embrace excellence at the highest level on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in research. And a storied history, a vibrant sense of tradition that also includes a track record of innovation and transformation in public education. And with all this, a deep commitment to access and affordability, which is close to my own heart. That so many different qualities, rarely found together, are combined at William and Mary is a particular strength now. As we prepare our students to live their lives as citizens and professionals in the 21st century, those lives will require them to be adaptable and resilient to change, to value different modes of being in community and at work. I feel a deep connection to William and Mary's unique combination of qualities because I'm something of a hybrid myself, as Todd has shared. As some of you know, I'm a Renaissance scholar who is also an entrepreneur. I've spent my career teaching and studying the history of the book, the history of the theater, and also experimenting with new ways that technologies emerging today can advance learning and research. I'm a close reader, I'm a classroom teacher, and I also relish the systems thinking required of organizational leadership. I'm a competitive athlete and coach, and my intellectual life and my life as an athlete have been deeply integrated for my whole career. I love to win. And I know that William and Mary loves to win. But for me, and I believe for this institution, those are always team wins, community wins. I do my best work in collaboration, not solo. I come from a family of educators and entrepreneurs, so I find it easy to make the case why a liberal arts education today is the best preparation for citizens and professionals in a networked world, and why that education should be as widely available as possible to students of all incomes and backgrounds in Virginia, the nation, and in the world. So I'm here today because the more that I have come to know William and Mary, the more I feel I have found my people. And I recognize in this community the unique strengths that meet in unexpected ways. Those meetings, those combinations are going to guarantee our success together in the decades to come. Now, because I began my career as a Renaissance scholar, studying Shakespeare and his contemporaries. It won't surprise you to learn that as I was coming to know William and Mary and reflect on our future in the 21st century, I naturally turned to William and Mary's charter. I wanted to seek insights from that charter into how our founders, King William III, Queen Mary II, understood what they were creating an ocean away. Now, I'm familiar with letters patent, which are the documents with which a royal couple draft and authorize a new institution and charge its leadership with their duties and responsibilities. Reading the charter, the first thing I was struck by is how forward-looking it is. It envisions the founding of a place of universal study. Universal study, by the way, in the Renaissance means all of the fields of knowledge and creativity for all persons and for the whole person, the whole self. This charter was written during a period of tremendous political upheaval, religious dissent, and rapid colonial expansion. So the idea of achieving anything universal at that moment was every bit as difficult and complicated as it is today. I'm going to come back to that complexity in closing, but I just want to note now that because the moment of founding was one of transformation, the charter is full of language empowering its leadership to use their best judgment in the present time and space in measured planning, quote, as the major part of them shall think fit. And importantly, that planning is always for the future. Our heirs and successors and their successors are those for whom we plan. And we plan toward the ultimate goal of establishing an institution to continue for all times coming. That refrain, all time coming, threads through the charter. I hear that refrain as a call. We gather to create an institution grounded in the present time and space and envisioning the future. And I hear that refrain as a charge. We accept responsibility to sustain that institution through a future that is unpredictable and embraced with hope. Since those words were written, William and Mary has transformed itself over and over. The university has been a leader in many different aspects of higher education, in founding the first school of law in the United States, in cultivating the education of teachers, the highest calling in a democracy, more recently in business leadership and in world-class research in the service of the public good. At William and Mary's School of Marine Science, as we've seen, and other graduate and graduate professional programs in arts and sciences, business, education, and law, we see service to the Commonwealth of Virginia and the nation, to industry and policymakers, and service to the public in the generation of new knowledge. And William and Mary's vibrant undergraduate programs have steadily evolved in ways that define and redefine the liberal arts today. That's clearly continuing with exciting explorations of new horizons, such as design and engineering, critical analysis of data, the digital humanities, and many more. So from our deep past, since the 17th century, up through bold innovations such as the William and Mary Promise, few other institutions in the United States can claim such a history of successful self-transformation in the service of the liberal arts mission. My scholarship and the leadership roles that have brought me to this moment have been dedicated to the idea that sustained, thoughtful innovation is necessary for advancing the core values of the liberal arts. So I feel a deep connection to William and Mary's history of intentional, mission-driven transformation. It's also especially moving to me that I joined this community in a year that we are celebrating so many milestones. In this 325th year, we'll be celebrating the centenary of 1918, when women first enrolled at the university. This is also the 50th anniversary of the first African-American undergraduates in residence at William and Mary. So I want to pause on the importance of this year-long commemoration, on the tremendous value of the opportunity we have now to take an open and honest look at our history and acknowledge the inspiring courage of the three alumni, Lynn Briley, Janet Brown-Strafer, and Karen Eli, and those who followed them in beginning the process of fully integrating William and Mary. These anniversaries are key moments of recognition at William and Mary that a more sustained commitment to the principles of universal study is required to achieve the excellence to which we aspire. So I'm going to give you the three lessons that I take for these anniversaries into the year ahead. The first is that a learning community that is rich in diverse persons, viewpoints, experiences, and modes of knowledge-making is the best preparation for citizenship and professional life in a pluralistic democracy. Because that preparation is what will enable us successfully to navigate complexity during a period of rapid change nationally and globally. The second lesson is that we will never be done striving to affirm and not cover over our differences, to redress inequity, and to seek to make William & Mary a place where students, faculty, and staff from diverse backgrounds, income levels, and identities participate fully. The poet Claudia Rankine has written powerfully about the work required to sustain what she calls the human capacity to meet, to come together in a way that intentionally embraces our differences. In one of my favorite poems, she uses metaphors of physical force, gravity, the centripetal pull of two bodies toward or away from each other. These two will survive in their capacity to meet, she writes, to hold the other beneath the plummeting, in the depths below each step full of avoidance. What they create will be held up, will resume. The appetite is bigger than joy, indestructible, for never was it independent from who they are, who will be. These resonant words bring me to what I see as the third lesson that we can learn from William & Mary's milestones this year, and you will hear me say this often. Diversity accelerates innovation. When you welcome people from different backgrounds and experiences into any discipline, any business, any organization, any community, you generate new kinds of questions. You gather and analyze new kinds of evidence. You practice new business processes. You build new organizational structures. And you cultivate new methods of inquiry. As your 28th president, as I meet many of you for the first time, I ask for your partnership, the partnership of faculty, staff, students, the board, alumni, friends in the Commonwealth of Virginia and beyond. With your partnership, my hope is that these two aspirations, towards inclusion and towards innovation that advances and preserves William & Mary's mission of liberal arts for the public good, these two will be durably linked together now and for the future as they were imagined to be in our charter. Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Now you see why it was unanimous. Katherine, thank you so much for your remarks, and again, congratulations on being elected the 28th president of this university. We are very, very excited for what the future holds under your leadership, and it's just great to have you and your family with us today, and your friends as well, so thank you. Thank you for everybody for being here today. We have a reception upstairs. We would encourage you to come join us and get a chance to meet our 28th president and her family. And again, thank you all for being with us this morning. Thank you.